back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna and I'm back with another video. And for today's video is God calling you off social media, and also how God delivered me from social media addiction. So one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of videos about lately is young Christians that God has been calling us off social media. And I know YouTube is considered social media, but you know, I'm talking about the obvious, you know, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of things that God has been calling me to do since like 2019, 2020, and social media was one of them as well. In all my notebooks, well, not all my notebooks, but in like a few of my notebooks and in my phone notes, one of my goals would always be to get off social media. And I would take breaks, I would deactivate my pages, but I could not stay off. It was addictive, you know, it was like a drug. I am really gonna have to stop recording this car, y'all, so but if someone told me that they didn't have social media, I would think that they were lying, because it's just like everybody has social media, and it's just like, if you don't have social media, like literally, what are you doing all day? Like, that's the way that I thought, which is crazy, right? Like, what do you mean, what am I doing all day? I'm living life. Like, there's so many things to do without social media. And we done got brainwashed thinking that social media is all there is to do. And when I was on social media, I would spend hours, baby. You know, pretty much my whole day scrolling, sitting in one spot, didn't get nothing done, watching stupid nonsense, like literally feeding my spirit, my brain, nonsense. And don't get me wrong, it's all about how you manage social media, you know. There are pros and cons to social media, and this is not going to be for everybody. This is for the people that feel like God is calling them off social media, or struggled, or is just like addicted, don't know how to get things done without it, you know, while you know, on social media. But you know, if you are on it as a Christian, you do have to come to a point that you're controlling the narrative and not letting social media control you. You know what I'm saying? And so let me see, at this point, because I used to be addicted to Facebook, baby. So at this point, I've been on Facebook for 3 years. I think, yeah, it was 2022 the last time I've been on Facebook. So that's 3 years. I've been off Snapchat and Instagram for over a year. I believe it was 2023. No, 2024. It's been over a year since I've been on Snapchat and Instagram. And TikTok, it was pushing up on a year, but I did get on there like a few months ago to find something. But before that, like I said, it was pushing up on a year, I believe. TikTok honestly was the hardest thing to get rid of, because I would go back and forth with that. Well, I'm not gonna lie, like I would delete it, I'd get back on. I delete it and I get back on, because it was literally the most addictive, because it was the most entertaining. But it was also the most, I don't know, Facebook was pretty toxic, but TikTok is like, the videos are so short. So you just like scrolling, it's like all short videos, like there's no harm in it. But you just watching and you keep watching it, and it's like hours are going by. I don't know. Something about TikTok is just so addictive. What are they doing to that app? But, you know, at this point, I have no desire to get back on social media. And I want to be a business owner one day. And I used to be like, Lord, like, how am I going to be a business owner? I don't have social media. Like, everything's based on social media. But the Lord is like, no. First of all, you can build a platform on YouTube, which, you know, he got me doing this. But if I do decide, you know, if he do bring me to be a business owner, I can use YouTube, or I'm going to have to use other ways. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to do it other ways. Like, we literally have come to a point that we think we can't do anything without social media. Like, I believe that a business can prosper without it. I believe that things can be done without it. But a lot of things is social media based. Like, me and my hairstylist, she was talking about how she's not on social media, and people always want to see pictures, and then a lot of people like booking, you got to book stuff through their Instagram, and it's annoying, because it's like, what about the people that's not on social media? You know, they made the world to the point where like you have to be on social media to do certain things. But there are workarounds, because I begin on like StyleSeat, I forgot what the other one is, but there's like sites. First of all, I still use Google. If I need to find like a hairstylist, they still have like sites like StyleSeat, and you can find hairstylists in your area, stuff like that. Because I was like, wait a minute, how am I about to be booking my hair appointments? Like, and you know, there were workarounds, because I'm like, y'all know you on there, like, if you already struggling with something, you get on there like, I'm just gonna book this appointment. Next thing you know, you're scrolling for hours. Like, no thank you, I'd rather not do it. But I don't have no desire to be on social media anymore, because not only was it toxic and messy, But it was distracting. It was brainwashing. It was addictive. It was unproductive. It was pointless. It was idolization. Like, we were idolizing ourselves. Like, oh, look at me. Just pictures of ourselves. We were idolizing the app. You know, it was just like unrealistic expectations that we're seeing and putting for ourselves and our lives and the people around us, our relationships. Comparison, it makes you want to compromise. It makes you draining. It's an invasion of privacy. You know what I'm saying? It makes you not even know who you are sometimes, or know who you want to be. You know, it confuses you. You know, you're posting for validation. It's stressful. You know, you're just depending on it. Not to mention lust. Like, people posting about you, they talking about you, drama, messy stuff. Like, sometimes I would feel like a failure, like I'm not doing enough, you know, I need to do more because people my age is doing X, Y, and Z. It was just like a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I be feeling like social media takes you away from your purpose in some cases, because you can see something working for someone else on social media and you be like, oh, you know, we feel like we want to do it. We feel like we can do it. We feel like this is our calling too. But that's not what God calls you to do. You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, social media causes confusion and makes you not be able to hear God's voice clearly. Because as we know, this generation is so stuck on signs, baby. Like, and, you know, we see one TikTok and think it's a sign. Like, oh, I seen a TikTok about this. God is telling me to do this. But in reality, it was sent to confuse you and distract you from what God is really calling you to do. And although God can speak to you through videos and through other people, a lot of times we need to sit in God's presence and hear his voice clearly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and see what it is that he wants us to do. A lot of times we depend too much on social media for people to give us a sign, people to give us a message, when we need to be dependent on God. Like I said, he can use people, do not get me wrong. But if you're depending solely on social media and people on social media to give you signs and wonders and answers, baby, no. You need to be seeking the Lord. You're depending too much on it. And getting off social media really removed a lot of clutter in my mind and allowed me to be able to hear God's voice loud and clear, baby. Loud and clear. Like, because when you're on social media, watching all these videos, you're intaking all this stuff, you have a lot of stuff in the back of your mind that doesn't need to be there. Not to mention the spiritual warfare, baby. You're watching all this crazy stuff and now you're wondering why you're having nightmares, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot with social media. You know what I'm saying? But since I've been off of social media, I have been able to focus and lock in, baby. Like, seriously. I have been able to lock in because it's like no distractions. That was one of my biggest distractions. Yeah, that's probably was my biggest distraction. Yeah. And I became more interested in living in the moment and stuff that actually matter, you know, like real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need validation from people. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I love having a private life. I don't need people seeing what car I drive. I don't need people seeing my children. I don't need people seeing nothing about me anymore. You know, I'm not going to say that stuff won't ever happen down the line. I can be like, I thought you said, but it's just like on a daily basis. No. You know what I'm saying? So, out of sight, out of mind, baby. And I've been at peace without it. And it's just so crazy because when you're in the world, a lot of things that you thought you couldn't live without, you be at so much more peace without it. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol is one of them things. I'm like, baby, I need my drink. And I'm looking like I'm much better without that. You know, social media was something that I thought I couldn't let go of. And I'm like, I'm at peace. I'm much better without it. You know what I'm saying? Rap music was something I thought I couldn't let go of. And I am good. I love listening to my gospel music. I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy how the enemy tricks us, and our flesh tricks us, our mind tricks us into thinking we need these things and relying on these things, and we don't need nothing and nobody but God. And he will give you, if he's calling you off of something and telling you to stop doing something, he's going to give you the tools necessary. You know what I'm saying? That you need to work around. You know what I'm saying? And we be from, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Girl, if God told you to stop doing it, don't worry about how you gonna do this and do that. He got the plan written out. Just start with the first step, which is get off social media like he told you to do. Because I was coming up with excuses. I was. And, child, please. Because it's like, when you're off social media, you can literally just focus on your own life. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to see what other people are doing or how other people live, and then you get to feeling bad, sad, or depressed. Like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to be on grind mode. No. You need to sit down and be in the Lord's presence and listen to his voice and hear what it is that he needs you to do and focus on what it is that he needs you to do. Because when you're on social media, you get distracted like, oh, they doing this, maybe I should do this. No, stick to what you're doing. It's so much easier to stick to the plan, to God's plan, when you're not on social media, because there's no distractions. You know what I'm saying? God's telling you to do this, and you just gonna fully focus on that. There's nothing that could come up for you to be like, oh, well, what's this? No, because you're too locked into what you're doing, because you're not even on social media. You don't even know what other people are doing. All you know is what you're doing. We just have to focus on ourselves and what we're doing. And social media a lot of times can distract us and take us away from ourselves and what we're doing and what God's saying. So yeah, I had to let that go, and I'm cool on that. But who knows what the future holds? I don't know if this is just like a period that God has me in. I don't know if I don't have any desire at this moment to go back to social media, but I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if if I'm gonna have a desire, or I don't know if he's gonna put me back on them. But right now, I'm cool on that. But if this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.